Hi everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth in Story, and today is day 12 of 31 days of tarot. I hope everybody's having a really great day. It's very cold here. I have had the laziest day, and when I mean lazy, I mean I went to bed very late or very early, however you want to look at it, and then when I got up, I talked to my boss and kind of did some morning work things, and he's like, there's really not anything to do for today and tomorrow, and I was like, okay. And it's like, how if I've been very hectic, really almost, all of December and January. It's been actually quite busy. And so, sometimes if you've been really, really busy and all of a sudden you get a day that you could literally really just not do anything, you go way far the other way and turn into a giant vegetable, which is what I did, which is pretty much lay on the couch and watch a cheesy sci-fi show all day. It's a show. It's trying to be, I'm a huge Farscape fan, and I'm a huge Firefly, the movie Serenity that goes with it. I love those shows. So I like good, I always loved the, the Enterprise show and Deep Space Nine and those kind of things. I love those kind of cheesy goodness sci-fi shows. And so it's trying to be that. It's called Dark Matter. It's not as good as those, but it was something to lay on the couch and watch all day long until it was 5 o'clock, and I was like, I need food, and I've been being bugged to check my coolant because my car is an old car, but it was purchased. It has spent most of its life in the southern part of the United States where it's warm, and so we're obviously up here in the north it is very cold, and I was being bugged to check the coolant to make sure that it was appropriate ratio of, I know nothing about cars. That was when I was married at 20. My ex-husband was extremely good with cars. I never thought about cars. And so something about, being at the right ratio so that it wouldn't freeze basically and explode my engine or whatever. Damage my engine in some way. So I was being bugged to check that. You have to get this little dropper thing. It has all these little balls in it, and you're supposed to squish up the coolant or the antifreeze, and then the balls will float. So many balls will float, and that kind of tells you your water to antifreeze ratio. So I'm just not good at this stuff. And to be honest, I wasn't even sure if I was going to know where the radiator was or where the coolant was or wherever that was. And then I'm reading on the back of the box of the squirter upper thing, and it's like, don't do it when it's hot, because if you do it when it's hot and you open up the thing, it can splurt lava hot stuff at you. It was making it sound very complicated, but I was being quite bugged about this. So I'm like, okay. So I go out there, get all the snow off my car. Well, then I couldn't get the car door open because it was frozen. So then I finally got the car door open, and then I couldn't shut the car door because for those of you who live where it's very cold, sometimes, you'll get your car open, but the little, whatever, the latch that connects to the door is frozen. So when you shut it, it won't latch, and it was not good because I've been lazy all day. I was feeling that blondness that you feel when you've just been laying around all day long when you don't normally do that. So I just was feeling a little off whack and tired from laying around, not sleeping well, and then laying around. It's just that weird place you put yourself in when you're truly a vegetable for a whole day. So I was feeling yucky. I was irritated because I couldn't get the hood up of the car, and then couldn't get the door open, and then I got the door open. I couldn't get the door to close. It was just terrible. I didn't even look. So I finally got everything. I got the door to close. I couldn't get the hood up. I thought, okay, so I drove to the grocery store. Didn't even pay any mind to anything, and go in the store, and then I can't. So I thought, okay, well, I got to the store, and I thought, well, I can't just untwist that cap because according to these directions, it may spew coolant lava at me or antifreeze lava at me. And so I'm like, okay, I'll go into the store, and then when I come back out, it should be cooled down enough. I had a towel, so I'm like, I'll just be careful. So when I came back out, I could finally get my hood open. It was just crazy. It was crazy. All the balls floated. It was good. Everything's good with my antifreeze, in case all of you out there are worried about my antifreeze. It all checked out okay. But so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stop and get a cheeseburger. Not good. not good. I bought good food to eat. And, you know, I went to the grocery store because I had no groceries, got groceries, and I had food to eat, but, you know, I've been laying around being lazy all day. And so, you know, why not have a cheeseburger? Because that's a healthy option when you've been laying on your butt all day. So, anyways, I go and I couldn't get it. So I go to the drive-thru, and of course, the window won't roll down because it's frozen. And it was kind of like trying to, I'm like, no, it's going to go down, and then it's going to get stuck down or something because it'd be frozen down, like, you know, because I'm like, no. So I, you know, pull over, I was just going to go inside, and I just happened to look into the, like, mirror, and I was like, oh my goodness, I think I had mascara smeared, my hair was, like, up, but, like, just hanging. The people in the grocery store must have thought, oh, this poor woman, she must be really upset. Like, I looked wretched. It was hilarious. I'm just like, whatever, got my food, came back, and because of all that twisting and everything I was doing, I ended up with this giant knot in the back of my head, and I literally just sat and just kind of ripped my hair out while watching another episode of Dark Matter, and took out a huge clump of my hair. So there you go. There's the exciting day of Kelly. Okay, so I need to look at this question. Let's see what the question is, because it's just one of those days. But I actually have enjoyed being a vegetable. I just didn't enjoy the whole freezing carb issues. But, again, my antifreeze is good. Let's see. What is your go-to tarot spread right now? And I get extra points for sharing it. Okay, extra points for sharing it. I do actually, because I was actually playing around a little bit, because I have new decks, and I'm gonna sit and probably watch some more episodes and do the edges, because I have my walkthroughs for the Rackham Oracle, and this one, which I'm in love with. But I want to, people like to see them blackened, so I'm going to sit and blacken these when I get done with this and be more of a vegetable. But, you know, I don't feel bad about being a vegetable. I was due a vegetable day, but anyways. So anyways, so I have some things out for that. So I'm going to flip this down so you can see what my go-to, I have a couple, but I'm going to do my 3 voices because that's my favorite spread to do. So I'm going to flip this down here. Okay, and I have my Black Hand Lenormand here. I have my beautiful Bohemian, God, look at how creepy that is. Oh, that's the creepiest card. To be honest, it's not like a horribly creepy. It's a beautifully creepy. That one is the creepiest picture. We'll put that up over here for a minute. So here we have my Black Hand Lenormand. And so this is my 3 voices. I actually have 2 versions, you know, in my Etsy shop, because I do one where I'll do a 5 card. And then I'll do 3-card tarot, and then I'll pull an oracle card. So that is like the cheaper one. That's like a smaller version of it. But then I had done a larger version for somebody, for a client, and fell in love with it. And so now I actually really prefer this I have this extended one on my shop too. And this is my favorite spread to do. So I figure I'll show you that. So what I do is I just shuffle, depending on obviously what the question is. So I'm just going to do this general here so you can see. So if I'm going to do a general one, I'll shuffle my Lenormand cards, and then I turn it over and I find the lady card or the man card, obviously depending on who I'm reading for. So there's the lady, and I'll take the 4 cards before, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 2, 3, 4 cards after to make a 9. Basically, I'm making my 9 card, and so I do that. And so this creates a 9 card with proximity to to the significator. If it's about work, I'll pull it for work. If it's about school, I'll pull it for school. You know, whatever it is that I'm focusing on will be in the middle. This is just general, so I pull for the significator just to see. And this is a really good way of just seeing what is around a person. I'm just going to try to get this kind of centered here because we're going to build off of this basically. This is a mini deck. I do use a regular size deck for this as well, but I'm just using this one. So here we have that. And so when I pick for the significator in a Lenormand card or a Lenormand reading, I look to the corner to see what is the main topic about this. And so this would be, the main would be the person's significant other. A lot of times I will pull the secondary significator when I'm doing things like this, unless I'm actually doing it for, you know, their significator. It just depends on what it is, because that doesn't give me a lot. But this is about the person. So this would be about the person's connection with a significant other in their lives. And so then we have, you know, when we look at the corners, we do have harmony. We do have some burdens with communication. So there might be some problems going on with communication. You know, I kind of do my, you know, do the diamond, you know, as above, so below, the past and the present. So, you know, I'll go through and do basically a 9-card reading to just see all the energies that are going around the person at the time. And then I use a tarot deck. So this is, again, the Bohemian Tarot, or Bohemian Gothic Tarot, which I am so in love with. And I will be putting a walkthrough of probably tomorrow, because I'll get this black and this just, it's just stunning. I mean, it's, when this goes black, when these sides are blackened, it's going to be mind-blowingly gorgeous. So then what I do is I'll do the 4 elements. So I'll put 4 cards down for air and fire. Of course, I get the creepy one. Air and fire and earth and water. Now, if you do a regular size Lenormand deck, this generally fits really nicely. You don't tend to have a lot of gap. I have a puzzle problem, and that when I do it like this, where I end up with gaps, I end up wanting to fill the gaps, and so I end up kind of continuing to add on to a reading. But I went ahead and picked that one. So here in the air suit, we have the Ace of Cups, so we have that sort of beginning emotional connection with something that's going on in the mind, with thought. You know, then you go over here, we've got the 7 of Wands. This is always interesting with this creepy guy, because, you know, you generally have somebody who's holding people off, right? But in this case, it's actually like this really scary demonic guy who's holding off probably the town people coming to drive him out of the church. So I do like that kind of switch that we have somebody creepy here. But you know what? Maybe he's just misunderstood. He might be a poor misunderstood demon. Then we have in the realm of earth, we have the 7 of Cups. You know, so then I'll go through and read that, obviously, and look at that wonderful sun card. Even though I don't generally like kids on horses, this one I like. And so then here we have the area of water. So then I'll, you know, you obviously read that, and you can tie that back in with what you learned from the beginning part. And then I pull 2 oracle cards. I do different things with these. A lot of it depends on the questions. It just depends on what I'm feeling like doing. And I will, sometimes it will be a strength and a weakness. Sometimes it will be something to let go of, and then what we're moving towards. You know, various things. Sometimes I'll just lay 2 down and kind of see if there's 2 options that are going on. Then sometimes, you know, this is the one option, this is the B option. It just depends on the question that's going, what, you know, the reason that I'm doing the spread. And so, you know, but you're building, because you have all the information here, and then all this information about the 4 areas of your life, and then you're kind of going deeper with the oracle cards, and you just end up with a lot of information, a lot of perspective on the situation. I haven't done one like a full like tutorial video like this. So I need to do a video on that and do an actual reading. And then if I have, like sometimes, because again, I like to fill in. So sometimes if there's some extra information I want to know, I might pull a couple of, I love these for that. So sometimes I'll end up pulling a couple of these for clarification on, if something is, I want to clear something up. It just depends on the situation. But that in a nutshell is my favorite reading, or my most used reading, is where I'm using a combination of Lenormand, the elemental places for tarot, and then oracle. So that's my favorite reading to do, and the one that I pull out the most to use. Again, if I'm doing a smaller version of that, like a quicker version, put these over here. Then what I do is I'll pull, and I'm not going to, get these right, but I'll pull for this and then get 2 cards before it and 2 cards after it, so that I have sort of a 5 card on the situation. And then I will pull 3, usually 3 tarot cards to get that kind of information. And then I will pull an oracle card to kind of sum up. So we still have the 3 voices, but it's a shorter, it's a quicker reading. So those are the just two variations of the same reading. So I will actually, maybe tomorrow, since I'll have some time tomorrow, I will sit down and do a tutorial. I'll kind of just do an actual reading of using my 3 voices. I have one up there like this kind of when I first started doing it, but I don't have one of the extended ones, so I'll make sure to do that so that you can see it. So I guess because I showed them, I get extra brownie points according to this sheet. I'm going to shift this up here. Oop, focus. There we go. So apparently I get brownie points for showing it. So those are my favorite, or my main spreads that I like to use. I really love to do 3 voices. Unless somebody directly buys, obviously just a large tarot reading. And even those, you end up using oracle cards, and a lot of times I'll grab Lenormand. So they end up being 3 voices anyways. So I do generally at least have 2 voices. Oops, I dropped that. Anything that I drop, I have to quickly grab because Isabel will eat it. So there we go. But we still do need to pull an oracle card. Actually, I have right here, my Spirit Messages Oracle. So we'll just go ahead and use that today. I just had that terrible feeling because I've done this a couple times of late. I go through cycles where for some reason I get lackadaisical, but where I'm thinking I'm recording and I'm not. And that's really frustrating when you go through a whole bunch of time and then you're like, I gotta do it all over again. So let's see, for this very lazy for me day, what message we have. The message is probably like, tomorrow get up off your butt, which I intend to. I'm just enjoying my lazy day today. Everybody deserves a lazy day. Watch, I'll get something like rest or something. All right. Just wanted to get those a good shuffle because why not? And the card that I got was Stay Connected. This is a good card for me because, truthfully, I actually quite need this reminder. Put that up here for a minute again. Stay connected. Sometimes we need reminders to stay connected. I know that we live in such a vastly media world, such a social media world, such a easily reach out through Facebook and all these different things, all these social platforms that we have. And so you think that it's very easy to do this. But I actually think that it's just as easy still nowadays to isolate yourself. It got me, yesterday's question was like cards that come up repetitively. And of course I had the 3 of Cups for a long time. But I had and now I just was going to go talk about it and I completely blanked on it. I kept getting a card. Maybe it was the Three of Cups. It was probably the Three of Cups. I can't remember now. But I was like in my grieving process in the first year when it was really bad. I mean, even, you know, this last year when, you know, those chunks of time that are bad. It's very easy for me to unconnect because I am a hermit type person. I am a very private, I know I'm on YouTube and everything, so it's hard to believe that, but in a lot of ways I'm quite a private person, and so it's very easy for me to disconnect and stay disconnected. And so I will then start to get cards that are like, all right, it's time for you to, you know, there's one thing about being the hermit, and then there's another thing about being a recluse and like cutting yourself off. And so I would get cards like this that would remind me to, you know, reconnect, that you need to reach out to other people and you need to stay connected, especially for me, to my family. It's just very easy. You know, we live in such a world where you don't really need to leave your house that much for... I don't, because I work for this. I think it's more of a, when you work from home, you know, both my regular job and then obviously the Truth and Story that I'm building up. These are things that I do from home. And so it's really easy to go a few days and realize you haven't even left the house, let alone taking the time to, you know, put your makeup on, put your hair on, and like go visit your family or whatever. And it's on all ends. Like everybody has to make that effort to go and to connect. And I just think that when lives are busy and when we can sit at home and jump on Facebook and that kind of stuff, it's not the same thing as connecting and really kind of face to face. Or even like Quilfin and I message all the time, and we got on Skype the other night, and you know, that's so much fun because you're like having this conversation, or there's other people, you know, you kind of use Skype in that way to have more of a one-on-one connection, even though obviously, you know, she lives very far away, so you can't connect that way and go have tea or whatever. There are ways to stay connected beyond just like shooting little messages, but sometimes we need to be reminded to take the time to do that. I definitely do. So this is a reminder that yes, we want to be self-sufficient, and yes, we want to obviously be doing our own internal work and all this kind of good spiritual stuff everybody's talking about right now with being January, going inward, digging deep, all this stuff, which is fantastic, but we've got to stay connected, because what's the point? Like we don't want to live, you know, completely within ourselves. We want to, we do want to have connections outside of ourselves. We do all that work so that we can, I think, be good in the outside world, so that we can be our best person we can be on the outside. And so we don't want to lose our connection. So I think I'm kind of kicking that one over and over again because I know it's a lesson I need. So stay connected, reach out. And sometimes it's even just a good reminder. You know, to just, where you may have just, even with how easy it is to contact people, that you sometimes lose touch with people, and it can be a reminder to say, you know, just send somebody a quick email and say, I'm thinking about you. That means a lot to me. People do that to me. I have a really good friend of mine that we've been friends forever. In fact, she was with me 13 years ago or whatever. I was visiting her in Maine when I got my first tarot deck. So we've been friends for a long time, and she's really good about that, where you'll just randomly, get a message, or you'll just we talk and everything, but you'll randomly get a card in the mail just saying, thinking about you. Like she could, those kinds of things, those mean a lot, when that happens. And I'm so bad about it. I love that when that happens. So I know how important it is to do that. And yet I'm not very good about doing it myself, and so that's something that I need to work on. I might need to schedule that into my planner so that I remember that more often. So this might be also a reminder to all of us, like just if you see this video and just grab some random person that you maybe haven't talked to in a couple days, or even that you have talked to, and just send them a quick message saying, I was thinking about you. Just it can be that simple. So I hope that this finds everybody having a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow.